Hi, I'm Cathy Miron, CEO of 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝐻, a data backup and cybersecurity company. Today's video is focused on the couple of things that you might not have thought about, but that you must do before you restore your systems from a backup. Now, it may seem counterintuitive. If your systems are down or you've lost data and your employees are sitting around idle, unable to serve your customers, why wouldn't you want to restore those systems as quickly as possible if you had a good set of backups? And the reason is that depending on what caused the data loss in the first place, there may be important things that you're going to obscure or destroy if you overwrite those systems with a copy of your backups. Let me explain. Typically in a data loss scenario, there's 3 steps that you follow at a very high level. The first is that you want to stop the damage. So whatever is destroying or deleting your data in the first place, you want to put an end to that very quickly. So if you have a software program that is causing data corruption, you want to address that immediately by uninstalling it. If you have an ongoing cyber attack, you want to neutralize that activity by removing the machine from the network and or even powering it down to stop the encryption of your data or the exfiltration or sending of your data offsite to some command and control server managed by a third-party hacker group. Or even if it's something as simple as your hard drive is making some grinding or clicking noises and you're not quite sure what's going on, that's a sign of wear and tear and some damage to that drive, and you want to stop that drive from spinning as quickly as possible to prevent any further data loss. So first things first, just like in a medical scenario, you need to triage the event and stop the damage. The second step is then to prepare your backups. And what do I mean by that? In a simple example, like the hard drive clicking or grinding, that might be just to identify and familiarize yourself with the steps to restore the most recent data backup onto your systems. But in the case of a cyber attack, it's not that simple. Oftentimes, malware that causes ransomware or other things can linger on those machines for days, if not weeks. So it takes more in-depth analysis to identify which version of the backup is clean and therefore good to be restored. So the best way to do that is to hire an incident response firm. This is a firm that specializes in security incidents and how to contain them and investigate them, and or to engage a firm that is familiar with forensic data recovery. So once you've identified whether or not there are multiple machines in your environment that are infected, whether or not you have versions of your backups that are also corrupted or infected because of that malware that's been lingering, then you're in a position to begin the restore from backups from a technical perspective. However, I would caution you to do that right away. And there's a couple of reasons why. The third step, and this is really only applicable to you in the event of a cyber attack, is that you need to contact your key advisors. And I use that term loosely because this may include your insurance. This is your legal department or outside attorney if you don't have one in-house. And this is also, in many cases, going to be law enforcement. And specifically, internet crimes are tracked by the FBI, so you can contact your local field office, or you can go online to the FBI's IC3 database and log your complaint over there. That way, they at least have some statistics on the event, your contact information, what you know about that scenario, and then they can contact you to investigate down the line. This can be really helpful when oftentimes there are certain gangs, certain ransomware gangs that perpetrate attacks against different businesses, different individuals. And by registering your complaint, they can see that you might be a victim of the same gang. And as information becomes available, they can reach out and share that with you. So once you've had a conversation with these critical advisors to understand from an insurance perspective what requirements they might have before they pay out on, say, a cyber insurance claim related to this malware or this ransomware event, And after you've spoken to legal to understand what your data breach notification requirements might be, whether that's to government entities for your industry or to customers or suppliers or partners whose data may have been affected by the breach that you've experienced, they will be able to advise you on what you need to do and how you need to do it. And then, of course, law enforcement, as I mentioned. Once you've had conversations with those major parties, then you can go ahead and start the process of the restore with the help of your IT person or your backup company. Now, it's really easy for you to want to jump to step number 4 because you're anxious to begin the recovery and get things back to normal. But I promise you that taking these interim steps to ensure that you have a clean set of backups that you're restoring from, you've spoken with your key advisors and have gathered any information that they might need ahead of time before you go ahead and wipe those machines and replace them with a backup image, is really going to save you a lot of heartache, headache, and hassle in the long run. If you have questions about what to do after a cyber attack or how to establish good offsite backup so that you know you never need to pay a ransom, feel free to reach out to us at 𝗍𝗫𝗀.com, and I'm always available for a one-on-one to discuss anything specific to your business or scenario at meetcathy.com. We hope you liked this, and if you did, please share it with someone that you know, subscribe to our channel, and like the video below. Thanks.